Your parents did the best they could with what they had at the time. And oftentimes, that was just not enough. Forgiveness is not about making excuses for the pain. It's about freeing yourself from the pain. My name is Ed Hegan. I'm a former New York City firefighter, and now I'm a mindfulness guide. And I help men heal the emotional wounds that they carry to reclaim their inner peace and step into their real strength. And today I want to talk about forgiving our parents. Not to dismiss what they did or to excuse what happened, but to understand and to reclaim our power. And so you can stop carrying what was never yours to begin with. Let's start this meditation by taking a few deep, grounding breaths. As men, it's our responsibility to show up in our lives calm, composed, and regulated. And using the power of taking deep breaths can bring us inner peace so we can speak, make decisions, and live our lives from a place of being grounded and relaxed. So let's share a few deep breaths, exhaling all the air out of our lungs. Inhale slowly through the nose and fill up your belly and your chest. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Let go of the stress. Inhale slowly through the nose, breathing in peace. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Releasing any tension. Last one. Inhale deeply. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. And release that stress from the day. And let that breath just soften your body. Let your heart and your belly and your chest loosen a little bit. And some of the key points that we want to remember when we talk about the wounds that we carry regarding the relationship we have with our parents, some of them may be obvious, but some of them may be a little trickier because many of us were taught to be a good boy and to do what daddy tells you. And a lot of times we had fear driven into us. We were afraid that if we didn't act and behave the way we were supposed to, that we'd be punished, or that we wouldn't be good and we wouldn't receive love or attention or affection. So when we recognize that our parents weren't these all-powerful people that knew everything, they were wounded kids themselves, raising their own kids. Can you recognize that your mother and your father were both once children who were mistreated, that their parents didn't know how to raise them, that they didn't have some secret manual that gave them some greater emotional intelligence? When we start to recognize that, we start to see that they carry the same wounds that we carry, and that they didn't have some kind of special manual or guide. They just had their survival instincts. And the yelling, the silence, the coldness, the drinking, these were all coping mechanisms. They learned yelling and drinking and coping from their parents or from the other adults around them when they were growing up. And when you start to realize that when your mom screamed, that it was less about you being a bad child or you being wrong, but that her inner child was having a tantrum, that she was also suffering, feeling overwhelmed, that her nervous system was dysregulated. When your dad shut down, when he avoided showing up, when he drank, That was his fear talking. That was his own insecurity. That was the own version of his own unloved child inside of him that was trying to just avoid the pain. And it doesn't excuse their behavior, but it can help us to understand it. And when we can understand it, we can have more compassion. And when we have more compassion, we feel less like it was done as an attack on us personally. And there's less of an opportunity to internalize those wounds as if we did something wrong or that we're inherently bad. But we realize that our parents acted out of their own pain. And a couple of reflections that we can use to guide forgiveness is to just remind ourselves that our parents were not heroes, they were just human beings. They were imperfect. They were flawed. They were going through their own challenges. We can reflect and realize that they gave us the best of what they had. Even if it wasn't what we needed, they oftentimes gave us the best that they had. We can recognize that they carried trauma too. Trauma that they did not know how to heal. No one ever taught them how to do it. Their parents were never taught how to do it. And so then they were just doing the best that they could at the time. And they didn't intend to intentionally, maliciously pass on this trauma. But now, we can choose not to carry it. We can choose to break that intergenerational cycle of trauma. And the real truth is, you're not alone. Everybody's going through it. A lot of people carry resentments toward their parents, even if it's subconsciously. Sometimes we spend our whole lives choosing partners that resemble our parents so we can try to recreate this wound, or we make choices in life where we want to try to heal the child inside of us unconsciously. And I'm sorry. I really feel truly sorry if your childhood was unsafe, if it was painful, if you felt neglected, overlooked, or abandoned. And it's really painful to carry that into adulthood. And this is not about just forgetting the pain that you went through. It's about not letting that pain define you. It's about not letting that fear drive the bus of your life. It's about recognizing that there are younger, wounded versions of us that sometimes can be triggered and can take over. That can act out in ways and can sometimes cause more pain because we're confused about how to express ourselves in a healthy way. But you've carried this emotional weight long enough. It doesn't belong to you anymore. And so you get to choose what you become now. That's your birthright. That's your divine birthright to recognize that you can break the cycle and you don't need to carry this pain anymore. And if you have children or plan on it, it may be the best gift that you can ever give to them. And the real healing, you want to hear the real healing? When you stop waiting for others to change and you start changing your relationship to the pain, that's where the real healing happens. Because you stop needing validation from the past when you give that love to yourself. We can't sit around and wait for life to all of a sudden come along and recognize our pain and start loving us and giving the respect and affection and validation and approval that we so deeply crave. When we stop needing that validation from the past and we give that love to ourselves, it's a powerful way to reparent our inner child and reassure ourselves that it's going to be okay. We can even put our hands on our chest and our belly. We can look in the mirror. We can close our eyes and just remind ourselves that I love you, I trust you, I honor you, I value you, I got your back. I'm going to take care of you now. I got you. Let this grounded, relaxed, healed version of you speak to the inner child. I know it sounds strange, but if you speak to your inner child and reparent them in a way and offer them the love and protection and safety that you craved, it can really soothe our nervous system. bring down our adrenaline and cortisol, reduce our stress hormones, relax us, and just allow us to be more grounded and present. And that's the truth of who we are. See, this process is not about just forgiving them as if they deserve it. It's more about you deserving peace. So if you know you deserve peace, then you're not here to repeat the pain. You're here to transform it by learning the lessons that it's trying to teach us. That we need to stop repeating the unhealthy patterns of seeking validation from others or numbing and distracting our pain through unhealthy habits and patterns that are destroying our health. And so, if it feels good to just gently offer yourself some affection and just breathe deeply in this moment, just take a moment of release. Let yourself imagine your mother and father as young children. In your mind's eye, if it feels good to close your eyes, imagine your mom and dad as young children. Imagine them feeling hurt, confused, neglected, afraid. Imagine them doing the best that they could to survive, to find coping mechanisms to deal with the pain and the neglect, the hurt, the yelling. Some things may have happened to your parents that you know nothing about. And now, imagine yourself holding the hand of your own inner child, that one you were just talking to. I got your back, buddy. I'm here now. I'll keep you safe. Hold the hand of that child and say, hey, we're free now. You're free. You don't need to be afraid anymore. And that's a beautiful way to just communicate directly with your inner child. You can do it looking in the mirror. You can write a letter from your younger self to your adult self. And you can also write a letter from your adult self to your younger self, making promises or just offering support and love, reminding them that you won't abandon them anymore. And don't. When you often contort yourself or twist yourself or work so hard and feel unappreciated and unloved, this is a beautiful way to start setting healthy boundaries, practicing self-care, and prioritizing yourself. And in this way, you won't abandon yourself the way that you were abandoned when you were a child. And when you do that, you literally break the cycle of intergenerational trauma that may have been going on for many generations. So to wrap it up, just want to remind you that forgiving our parents doesn't make what they did okay. We're not trying to excuse abuse. And it is really much more about setting ourselves free from waiting, resenting, and repeating patterns that are not healthy or helping us to grow and heal. So this is your time to break the cycle, to stop surviving and start thriving, to become the man that you needed to be and the man that you're meant to be, not for them, but for you, for all of us. It's time for you to become the version of yourself that you needed when you were just a child. And if you're ready to do a little more work, or you want to deepen your meditation practice, or learn about how breathwork can help you to manage stress, find inner peace, or how to regulate your emotions, you can visit edwoodstock.com or book a free discovery call. And remember that sometimes taking care of yourself and healing the wounds that we carry is the best gift that we can give to the people we love. Because when we take the time to practice awareness around our wounds, when we tend to ourselves and learn to love ourselves and heal the parts of us that drive some of our unhealthy behavior, we become better people, and we grow, and we evolve into the best potential that we have as human beings. And in that way, you become exactly what you needed when you were just a child. So take care of yourself and each other.